So about 5 years ago, I had gone to one of my OBGYN appointments. Well, to my gynecologist, for my yearly woman checkup. And at the time, I was 215 pounds, looking very similar as I do today. And the doctor told me that I was clinically obese. And I was like, yeah, I know that I'm heavier than I was in my youth, but I feel like I look decent. And the doctor let me know that it's still not safe. You know what I mean? I'm at risk for all these things: high blood pressure, diabetes, gout, just all types of stuff, all of which run in my family. And we arrived to today, and I am nearly 205 pounds. Now, I can say losing 2 pounds a year is cool, but what kind of accomplishment is that? Not to me. It probably is to somebody, but it's not to me. And I'm just like, dang, how the F did I let myself go like that when I've tried to stay pretty active? Mind you, I am 20 to 30 pounds heavier than I ever was when I was pregnant. And that's what's worse about it in my mind. Like, thinking about it that way gave me some sort of perspective. And then trying on those jeans the other day, I was like, you know what? Bitch, you're fat. And I'm not intentionally trying to sound like I'm fat phobic or fat shaming, because I grew up in a family where everyone is obese. And I don't mean just clinically obese, I mean visibly obese. I have a cousin that's on an oxygen tank right now. Everybody in my family has diabetes. I'm not sure if I have it. I haven't gotten a diagnosis, but I also haven't gone to a doctor to say, hey, I'm having these symptoms that match up with diabetes. Can you test me and tell me if I actually have diabetes or pre-diabetes? And honestly, I would not be surprised. So trying on those pants that are supposed to be, well, one, I thought they were all a size 18. I was like, okay, I can fit an 18. It might be a little slouchy on me, but I can fit an 18. Two of them were 16s. And I was like, okay, I'll probably be able to fit the 16 a little better. Nope. Bitch, tried them on and they were tight around my gut. I had to suck in like that to fasten them. And then sitting in them and squatting in them, I could actually do the act, but it cut right into my belly, and my belly's like hanging over it. Now, I should have known I was a fat bitch way, way, way back, but I really should have paid attention to the other signs. The fat old arms, my calf muscles getting much bigger. The calves in general. Like, you can still see my calf muscle, but bitch is wide in a mug. And then, whenever I would put on my bras, titty fat and all that is just hanging over. I've been having back fat for a while, but it's gotten nastier. My belly is bigger than a motherfucker. I feel like I got more belly than booty. People talk about my booty often, but my belly, I have to admit, I'm a little embarrassed by it. I mean, I wear my clothes and I feel like I look decent in them, but I know my belly sticks out. It's fat. Because here's the thing. I kind of accepted and adjusted to my fat bitchness, because growing up, I was never really considered fat or obese, but I was always more on the thicker side, or thicker than most of my friends who used to be very skinny. So, I had hips. I was curvy on the bottom. I was bottom heavy. Let me say that. I was bottom heavy. I had a small bust line. I always had a small bust line. But, and I always had I had I always had a stomach that was always serving Y equals MX plus B. Like it was a slope, a pudge, if you will. You know what I mean? It wasn't what it is now, a whole gut. But I had a slight little pudgy tummy always. And I just thought, okay, this is just my body type. But no, bitch, honestly, I did not ask the doctor, what should I do? I just was like, okay, I'll exercise and figure out how to fix it. But I haven't fixed the shit yet. Now, I don't know if I'm going to do something right now. This is just me coming to terms with being fat and knowing that I'm fat. So, I'm not asking for advice. I'm not, desperate on what to do. I know what to do. The best thing to do is have a calorie deficit, get some exercise, lose weight in the kitchen, shape your body, and contour, construct your body in the gym. The fitness starts in the gym. I don't really have a plan. It's just, do I really want this? And it's like, yeah, I think I do. But I haven't really been doing anything. Because honestly, I feel like every time I decide like, oh, I'm going to focus on my fitness and my health and all that, something devastating happens. So like about 5 years ago, this was literally right before the pandemic, 5-6 years ago maybe, right before the pandemic, I had gone to, to get my checkup. And they told me this. A few months after that, now this was in 2020 now, and I had moved out of where I was staying because trusting my sorry ass mama and trying to be there for her stupid ass. I had moved somewhere near her where she asked me to move in with her, but then it was some shit. But eventually I moved from where I was to another spot in the city that my mom was in, and then moved in with her, and then she abandoned me and my kids. But by the time I had got to my mom's house, I had already been like walking like 3 to 5 miles a day. And then when I got to my mom's house, I was like, okay, there's a more scenic route where I can walk. And since, I actually have a room to myself, I'll do home workouts. But then after that, she had abandoned us. And then the next day, they had cut off the lights and the water. Like, this is how this bitch abandoned us. So I have moved in with the lady I was staying with, and I stayed with her for about 4, almost 5 years, up until recently, back in November. And in between that, I would take walks, long walks, but then there would be bouts where I would go like 6, 7, 8 months to a year with 2 jobs. And I'm not like everyone else. I'm willing to push myself to achieve things, but to exhaust myself every single day, I don't have that in me. I am not my ancestors in that regards. My ancestors were slaves, and they literally worked sun up to sundown and was beat. Sweetheart, I don't have that shit in me. Like, I can get things done at my job now, high performance, if that's what you want to call it. I'll call it that. But But when I get home, like I am now, I'm ready to chill. I'll do some dishes. I'll put a load of laundry in eventually after an hour or so. But I'm not doing anything to exhaust myself. So I don't really believe in doing that now. I do believe in like pushing myself, but to exhaust myself, let's say I work 2 jobs and then it was like, all right, time to work out. No, I'm not going to do it. I've worked 2 jobs today. So it wasn't consistent. Like my fitness journey, if you want to call it a journey, bitch, I was just exercising when I felt like I could feel the fatness on me. And a fitness and health journey haven't been consistent in my life. And maybe, just maybe, that's the problem. It hasn't been consistent. But again, going back to saying like I don't have a plan. I just have a wish. I wish I wasn't fat right now. I wish I wasn't 205 pounds. I wish there wasn't, fat on my head and fat on my neck and fat on my chin and fat on my gut, the love handles and the jiggly arms and goodness. I have 2 gym memberships and I use them sparingly. I used to use them consistently. Do I really want to sit and complain and sulk about being fat and just keep wishing? Or do I want to do something about it? Because those 3 pairs of jeans that are a 16 and 18 and didn't fit, that shit shook me.